Thanks for joining me for this national weather update. It's a dry but chilly day. Kind of sums up the weather for most places. It's also fairly cloudy, certainly more cloud around than yesterday. This is the satellite image first thing in the morning. There were some breaks here and there, and notice the spotty nature to the cloud over the Northern Isles. That's showers which will continue to feed in on a brisk and pretty fresh northerly wind. Elsewhere the winds are fairly light. It is predominantly cloudy, but there's a few holes here and there. We'll see some brightness, a bit of weak sunshine is possible. Also possible one or two scattered showers over northern England and southern Scotland, and maybe a bit of drizzle on the south coast of Devon and Cornwall. But for most places it's dry. It isn't particularly warm. Temperatures are ticking up slowly, but single digits for this time of year. Pretty disappointing across Scotland, far north of England, feeling pretty cold in that northerly wind in Shetland. Further south, with a bit of brightness, we might squeak into the teens perhaps, but generally still below average. As we go through this evening and overnight, not a great deal of change. We'll see perhaps the cloud breaking up a little more over central parts. We'll see the cloud thickening more over Northern Ireland and western Scotland. It could turn a little damp here through the early hours, and the cloud potentially thickening up a little bit in the far southwest. But for most it's dry nights and perhaps not quite as cold as recent nights, but still in northern Scotland we could see temperatures dropping down below freezing, -1, -2 in the far north here, maybe -3 or 4 through some sheltered glens. Further south we're looking at lows into the low single figures in some spots. So a chilly start to Thursday, some brightness around early on. Parts of northern England, maybe North Wales, seeing a bit of early sunshine, but a grey start for the north coast of Northern Ireland, and this wet weather working into much of Scotland. Quite a bit of snow on the tops of the hills, but at low levels it will all be rain, and the central belt may turn drier come the afternoon. At the same time, this massive rain edging into England and Wales. Some uncertainty about the timing, the extent of this rain, but expect some outbreaks of rain to be coming in across the Midlands, Wales and southern England through the afternoon. The winds will be picking up as well. Now this wetter weather will also be bringing with it milder air, so temperatures more widely into the teens, although obviously it's not going to feel very pleasant with the outbreaks of rain. Generally with a bit of brightness, eastern England, southern Scotland, 11 or 12 Celsius, still feeling pretty cold in northern Scotland, but even here the milder air is slowly moving in, and that process continues during Thursday night and into Friday. Further outbreaks of rain, again it's going to be messy how much of it gets into Northern Ireland, northern England. Outbreaks of rain further south, could be on the heavy side, some brighter colours mixed in there too. It's all courtesy of a developing area of low pressure. As I said, some uncertainty about the exact time and extent of this low, but it does look like it's going to move out of the way during Friday, and something of an area of high pressure moves in. Not a particularly big or strong one, it's looking fairly weak, but that high drifting in, promising to give a drier couple of days, but then the threat of weather fronts and low pressure bringing showers back during the course of the weekend. So bank holiday weekend, of course. A bit messy in terms of the position and timing of that low pressure, but what we are going to see is the colder air that's been in place getting moved out of the way. So milder air will be winning. So we do know it is going to turn warmer through the weekend, but there's still likely to be a fair few showers around as well. More details on that and beyond in our 10-day trend forecast. That'll be available on YouTube by Wednesday afternoon. So if you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe, and then you'll always be up to date.